All right, let's jump right in. We're going to break down one of the true titans of world literature, Goethe's Faust. And yeah, I know, it's one of those books that can feel a little heavy, a little intimidating. But trust me, at its heart, it all boils down to one single, powerful, and very human question.
I mean, really, think about it for a second. What price would you be willing to pay for a single moment of such pure joy, such absolute satisfaction, that you'd want to freeze time and just live in it forever? This isn't just some philosophical thought experiment. This is the exact deal our hero is about to sign on for.
Okay, so let's meet the man himself, our protagonist, Dr. Faust. And when I say he's smart, I mean this guy has basically climbed to the very top of Mount Knowledge. He's a genius who has learned everything, and I mean everything, a person can possibly learn.
Just look at his resume. He's got doctorates in philosophy, law, medicine, and even theology. He has literally pushed the human mind to its absolute limit through books and study. He's the ultimate brainiac. But, and this is the big but, is he happy? Does any of this actually bring him any joy?
Not even close. And that quote just nails his whole crisis, doesn't it? After all that time, decades spent hunched over books, he has this crushing realization that he doesn't know anything that really matters. All those degrees, they feel totally worthless. He's just empty inside.
He looks around his dusty old study and doesn't see a library. He sees a prison. Yeah, he actually calls it a prison. He's surrounded by all this knowledge, but he hasn't actually lived a day in his life. And that feeling of despair gets so bad, he's actually thinking of ending it all. Magic, the supernatural, that feels like his only way out, his only shot at a real, lived experience.
So, while Faust is having this existential crisis in his gloomy study, the camera, let's say, pulls way back, like all the way up. We leave his tiny room and zoom out to this cosmic stage, up in heaven, where his fate is literally being discussed. A bet is about to go down.
And up there, you've got two totally different takes on what humanity is all about. On one side, you have the Lord, who's pretty optimistic. He says, look, a good person, even when they're lost and confused, deep down they know the right path. But then you've got the devil, Mephistopheles. In his view, he thinks humans are a complete joke. He calls us long-legged grasshoppers, just constantly jumping around, never satisfied, always complaining.
So, to settle this little debate, the Lord basically says, all right, let's pick a test subject. And he points down to earth and singles out this one guy, his servant, who is striving harder than anyone else. And he asks Mephistopheles, do you know Faust?
Oh, Mephistopheles jumps all over this. He's like, you bet I do. And he makes a wager. He says, let me at him. I bet I can take your best guy, this Dr. Faust, and lead him so far off track that he'll forget there ever was a right path. And the Lord says, you're on. Just like that, the cosmic bet is made.
And so, with a go-ahead from the big boss, Mephistopheles zips down from heaven right into that dark, depressing study, and he appears right in front of Faust at his absolute rock bottom.
Faust, naturally, is like, who are you? And Mephistopheles gives this amazing answer. He calls himself the spirit that eternally denies. Think about that. He's the force of no in a universe of yes. He's pure cynicism, pure negation. Basically, he's destruction in a walking, talking form.
But it's not that simple, and he knows it. He gives this other super complex description of himself. He says he's a part of a power that wants to do evil, but somehow always ends up doing good. It's a paradox, right? He's like this necessary evil, this cosmic grit in the machine that, by trying to mess things up, actually ends up pushing everything forward.
And he takes one look at Faust and gets it immediately. This guy is drowning in books and starving for real life. So Mephistopheles lays out the ultimate offer. I can get you out of here. I'll be your tour guide to the entire world. Every pleasure, every bit of pain, every single experience you can possibly imagine.
And right here, this is it. This is the setup for maybe the most famous deal with the devil story ever written. Faust is desperate. He sees this as his only way out, so he's ready to sit down and hash out the details for the price of his soul.
Okay, so the terms of this wager are just brilliant. Here's the deal. Down here on Earth, Mephistopheles has to be Faust's servant. Anything Faust wants, he gets. Then, in the afterlife, roles flip. But, and this is the absolute key to the whole story, there's a catch, a huge one. The devil only gets to claim Faust's soul if, and only if, he can give Faust a moment so perfect, so incredibly happy, that the perpetually restless Faust says, okay, stop. I want this moment to last forever.
And those are his words. That's the trigger. If ever I to the moment shall say, abide, you are so fair. That's the magic phrase. And Faust is so sure of himself, so convinced that nothing on earth could ever truly satisfy him, that he makes this bet with total confidence. He's basically thinking, there's no way this devil can win.
But a handshake isn't going to cut it for the devil. To make this official, Mephistopheles insists on something a little more permanent. He needs it in writing, signed with a drop of blood. Blood, he says, is a juice of rarest quality. And with that, the deal is sealed.
So, the pact is signed, and just like that, Faust's entire life is flipped upside down. The old world of dusty books and quiet study, gone. In its place is a world of endless and, let's be honest, pretty dangerous possibilities.
And Faust has a new mission statement. Forget quiet thinking. He's all in. He wants to dive headfirst into the roar of time. He wants chaos, he wants passion, pain, joy. He wants the whole messy, unpredictable roller coaster of being alive. He wants to feel it all.
So, first stop, a witch's kitchen. Mephistopheles gets him a potion that makes him young and hot again. And what's the very first thing this brilliant scholar, who now has the whole world at his fingertips, wants? Is it cosmic power? The secrets of the universe? Nope. It's a young, innocent woman he happens to see on the street, Margarete. And just like that, this huge, epic quest for meaning gets focused on a very human, and ultimately very tragic, story of love and obsession.
And that brings us right back to the beginning, doesn't it? Faust is now on his way, searching for that one single moment that's worth losing his soul over. So I'll leave you with the same question. If that were you, if you were offered the whole world, what would that perfect moment look like? What could ever be so good you'd say, abide, you are so fair?